Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Today we're going to do the second game, Investigations in Case 5. Mr. Wright, so what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What's going on? The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. What's this and the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Well, that's what we're going to find out. Or try to, at least. Alright, let's do it. Glad she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Would you mind coming with me? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go. Science awaits us. Now we're in the parking lot. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? Of course, it was our victim who was killed at the department. And my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. That oil drum. Was it empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Recalling testimony from earlier in the day. My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never. Even though she says they don't get along, Ema really likes her sister. That's not it at all. It's just... we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was bloodstains or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? The situation calls for one thing, and that is luminol testing fluid. Luminol? Blood is sticky stuff, you know. We can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there.
Really? Really?
For those of you who are confused, and that would be everybody, he's doing this in reaction to a certain VG Cats comic I showed him relating to Phoenix Wright. If you would like to know why, the link will be provided in the description below. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
But wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. Me? Why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet. We're testing bloodstains with this stuff, not drinking it. Here, look, I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You had an extra pair of those things? To test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Da-da-da. Yeah, use the Wii controls. Originally, this was on the DS, so you would have, like, the DS stylus and shit. Let's find us some bloodstains. Okay. You'd think that there would be blood back here, so let's spray over here. Just spray it enough times. There you go. I can see your eyes shining behind those glasses. So this is a so is this a bloodstain? It's so... Ema, you're shaking. It's just... this is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Okay, well, we definitely know that this is a bloodstain. But doesn't something strike you as odd? Scientifically speaking, of course. What's odd about this, scientifically? The amount. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It's strange. If they fought here, there'd have to be more bloodstains than this. Hey, Mr. Wright. See how I'm marking up the floor plans when we find a bloodstain? See, I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah, that's very useful information to have. I saved up my allowance to buy this. Okay. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. And we'll drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah, it feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? This Luminol stuff is going to come in handy. Ha! I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Star! You only trust your own eyes, Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. Sorry, it's just... that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering. Okay, talk. Today's trial. You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Star, but... No, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there. But I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see? I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry? You lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? So, you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Star? Yes, it was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it up. Coughed it up? They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I dragged the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect, and before long they called me the Cough-Up Queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from their lunches. And you were let go? Or fired? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case. The SL9 incident. Wait, she doesn't mean... Okay, so I'm going to present a couple things. The first thing is going to be the crime photo. If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room, but even I get flustered sometimes. So you went straight to the scene of the crime? And climbed the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder? That's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime? Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. The hole in my testimony, as it were. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Star. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl. I've had my testimony disregarded before, and I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time? Okay, next thing we're going to present is the victim's note. What do you think about this? SL9 incident. On that knife, and on that note. Goodman. Goodman was the head detective of that case, you know. Really? That knife was evidence from that case, the murder weapon. It was due for transfer the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? Okay, so we have a couple more talk options. Well, one more at least. That's when I learned the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable? 2 years ago, it was the biggest case I'd ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence. So they didn't solve it? On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence. Not even a little. What? But the criminal was executed, right? Evidence of a sort. Made-up evidence. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those? Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be? Exactly. Officer Jake Marshall. He's on security detail in the police department, isn't he? As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined, and then it was over, and he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9? There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Wait! Those lunches you sell! There's only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends, boyfriends that can help me investigate. Miss Star's old boyfriends. How many does she have, anyway? Just when the detectives on the case have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection! So, Rookie... What? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes. Then you should take this. A Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. Okay. Miss Starr? Officer Marshall, is he are you going out? What do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago, when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too, back then. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. But now he's so cool. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. I see. Thank you. Officer Jake Marshall. Okay. Well, move. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. I suppose it makes sense. A detective did get killed in their own department. So, the evidence room, the scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is. She's like a kid in an amusement park. Ooh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look.